This video is sponsored by Mkeke.
These are the Nothing Ear 2s, which is the follow-up to the Nothing Ear 1s, and actually Nothing's first ever product. And so in this video, we're gonna talk about it and see how they compare against, well, I mean, obviously they kind of look like AirPods, and so how do they compare to AirPods? Let's find out. So from a design standpoint, one of the best things about the Nothing headphones is that they're unique. There's not a lot of other headphones on the market that look like this. And I say that knowing that these are nearly identical in design of the shape and everything that has to do with the headphone itself or the earbuds itself. But the design that's unique is that it's fully transparent. And that was kind of the unique standout of the Ear 1s. And so this design language carries over to the Ear 2s. But yeah, from the rest of the design standpoint, you're gonna notice that, well, I mean, it looks a lot like an AirPod. And these are the AirPods Pro 2. So this is kind of where I'm comparing them, especially since they have some of the same feature set. And so it is kind of the right and appropriate thing to compare them to, although these are actually a lot cheaper. These go for $250. The Nothing Ear 2s are under $200. And so that's the first thing that Nothing has going for itself. But they're also incredibly comfortable, and that's not a surprise considering that I really like AirPods Pros and the way they fit in my ears. So I'm not surprised that almost the exact same design would be comfortable in my ears, and so I really do think that they work out really, really well. Inside of the box, you get extra tips. They're small and large. Out of the box, they come with medium pre-installed, just kind of like the AirPods Pro. I think small, medium, large is probably gonna be appropriate for most of you out there, and so you should be able to find something that fits you really, really well. And if you are having a hard time figuring out which tip that is, you can actually use Nothing's ear tip test, which is, or ear fit test, which you can find inside of the Nothing app. And so I really like that some other companies are starting to offer that. Apple, of course, did that with the AirPods. And so you can kind of see if there's any sound leaking out of your ear, if you're not having a good enough seal, but you can get that same test going with the Nothing Ear 2s. Also with the stem design, you get stem squeezable gestures, very similar to the AirPods, except there are some different gestures and the ability to customize them, which we'll get into again a little bit later when we talk about the app. But you know, it's pretty common, so you squeeze once to play pause, double squeeze to skip forward in tracks, triple squeeze to go back in the track. You can also do a press and hold, which is going to do, I believe, noise control. And then you can do a double press and hold, or a double squeeze and hold, and that is customizable. I have mine set to being volume up on one ear and volume down on the other, and I'll show you how to do that again inside of the app a little bit later, but it's always nice to have customizations, especially when it comes to gestures and controls, and I really do think the squeeze is something that works out really, really well with the stem design. Now, I wish AirPods do this. I wish all stem designed earbuds would do this. For volume, maybe just take especially these, since the stem is pretty flat. With AirPods, it might be a little difficult, but with AirPods for volume, you kind of go on the inside and slide up and down, and that's fine. I don't prefer the inside, but with the Nothing stick, where I'm getting at with this is that it's flat completely on the whole stem here. And so you could, on the surface of the back where it makes the most sense, go up and down and swipe up and down. And that's kind of where I wish the volume control would be. But I am just thankful that there are volume controls on the stem itself, and it's just a double squeeze, or however you decide to customize it in the long run. I don't usually care so much about the charging case except for how much battery life you get with it, but this case is still unique. It's one of the things I like about Nothing is the uniqueness, the design, transparency is really, really cool. I like that there's this weird divot here that I can definitely fidget with. And I believe in a call that I had with Nothing when we were talking about this product, they kind of mentioned that this is one of the reasons why it might be there, is that it just gives a little fidgety thing to it. And so I do like that. I think it's a really well-designed case. It's a little big. It is a square, so it's just, it's not necessarily bigger than the AirPods Pro. In fact, it's almost the same width, but it's got a lot more height to it because it is a even square. Also on the case, you have a USB-C charging port and a pair button or a reset pair button. And yeah, I mean, it's a cool case. It's magnetic so that when you put the earbuds inside, it magnetically sits in there just like other. But the more important thing with this case is that it appears to offer, and nothing sent this in kind of a weird way, but it's 36 hours total with the case, and you're getting 6.3 hours of battery from the earbuds, and that's with ANC turned off. And if you have ANC turned on, it's 22.5 hours with the case and 4 hours with the buds. Battery life has been fine for me, honestly. I've only had this for a short amount of time, but during that time, it's actually never died on me. I haven't had to charge it yet, but when you do have to charge it, it charges pretty quickly, and you have USB-C, or you can wirelessly charge it. And one of the cool things is if you have a Nothing Phone 1, you can reverse wireless charge, or if you have a Samsung device that allows reverse wireless charging, or if you have any Qi charger, you can just plop it on there and it will wirelessly charge as well. So it gives you more convenient options. All right, so the next topic is obviously the most important, and that's sound quality. And I'll just be honest, they're not as good as AirPods Pro 2. I think these are kind of the gold standard for me. Sony's, I don't remember the name of their in-ear earbuds lately, but they're premium versions. It's got a bunch of WF-1000, whatever they might be, I can't remember. But those are also really, really good. And so same with the Bose QC earbuds, those are also really, really good. And so I think those are kind of the gold standard. And this is right up there with the other two. Maybe a little bit, maybe like a peg below. It's probably in the next tier. There's like Elite with AirPods Pro, and then maybe the Sonys and the Bose are also in that same category. And then there's like great headphones for the price, and I think these are in the great category. You can certainly manipulate the sound to make them even better. I still don't think, just because right out of the box, AirPods Pro 2 sound really, really good. I do wish we had equalization or equalizer controls in an app somewhere or in the settings app with the AirPods, but you just don't get that. And other headphone companies are offering that, and Nothing is in the same boat. They offer the ability to customize and adjust your EQ, and so you can certainly make them sound better, but out of the box, if you're somebody who doesn't want to mess with all of that, I don't think these sound as good as some of those Elite headphones that I mentioned earlier, but they're not bad. They're not bad by any means. They sound very good, all things considered. When you're not comparing them to other headphones, I think most people would be incredibly happy. And obviously it also matters on what app you use to stream music. I am a Spotify user. To me, Spotify's bitrate and Spotify's quality is just still not nearly as good as some others out there. If you use Tidal, which I did test during this, and Apple Music, it's going to sound better just because of the app that you're using and the quality of the music that's on those platforms. For those of you who might care, these headphones or these earbuds are built off of an 11.6 millimeter driver, which is quite big given the size. But again, I don't know how many of you guys care about that, and you're just gonna have to kind of listen for yourself. For me, AirPods Pro 2 are still kind of that top tier, and then these would just be right below them. But that's pretty good, especially considering that these are a lot cheaper than the $250 price tag, and even the Bose and the Sonys are still up there in price compared to the Nothing Ear 2. When it comes to noise cancellation, the same thing kind of applies. I think ANC is really, really good. I think it's, again, kind of a step below the AirPods Pro 2, but Nothing does offer a few other options, and where I'm confused with these other options is, well, I don't really notice a huge difference when I'm adjusting. So there's kind of like a low, medium, high adjustable ANC level that you can do inside of the app, and I don't really notice a huge difference when I'm adjusting. Low to high, you kind of notice a difference, but like it's those granular adjustments, so low to medium or medium to high, I don't really notice the huge change there in ANC. There's also adaptive ANC so that it can kind of alter and detect the noise around you and just kind of adjust its noise cancellation based off of your environment, which is always encouraging. And again, it's something I didn't really notice, but it is there according to Nothing. There's also the ability to do an ANC test, which is interesting. Inside of the app, you can kind of conduct a similar test to the ear fit test or the ear tip fit test. And it's going to see how it's sitting in your ears and everything like that, and it's going to tailor an ANC profile to your environment, to your ears, and how you would want it. And this is something I would probably recommend doing. Actually, the app recommends you do in a noisy environment, so maybe head out to like a busy coffee shop or on the subway or walking busy streets. That's probably a good idea on when you should do the test. But if you're in a quiet studio like I am right now, it doesn't really work. So not something I can kind of show you, but I definitely think you should try it. And I do think that actually works pretty well and is a cool feature to have. There's also a transparency feature here, which for those of you who are still unaware what transparency is, it's just the ability for your headphones to kind of have a pass-through of audio. So if you want to talk to somebody, but you don't want to take them out, you just switch from ANC to transparency, and it lets audio into your ears from the outside world, and so that you can have a conversation, or if you're on a plane, this is kind of where I use it the most. If I want to hear what the pilot's saying, I can kind of just quickly adjust between that, which on the Nothing is a press and squeeze, and again, you can customize that, but that's out of the box. It goes from ANC to transparency. It's not that good. A lot of other headphones have kind of been like this. The AirPods Pro and AirPods Pro 2 kind of spoiled us with transparency, and so when I use other headphones out there, I don't really notice a huge difference in what I'm doing with transparency, if that makes any sense, or what I'm hearing with transparency. And then we'll quickly touch on some of the extra features. I love that there is an app for not only Android phones, but also iOS, and that it's pretty feature rich. It's not like you're getting stripped down features. It's pretty platform agnostic. I feel very comfortable saying that if you're an iOS user or an Android user, you can get all of the features that you pretty much would want with this on either platform. Speaking of those extra features inside of the app, again, you get the ability to adjust your EQ, and you get the ability to adjust noise control and gestures and all of that stuff inside of the app, do the ANC test and the ear tip fit test. And so love the app, definitely something that is a must when it comes to owning a pair of the Nothing Ear 2s. And then I mentioned earlier, but you do get reverse wireless charging with the Nothing phone if you have that, or just in general, these are Qi wireless charger capable. And so definitely a welcomed addition. Not all earbuds have that, which is just strange to me, but the Nothing Ear 2 does offer Qi wireless charging for the case, and you can also get dual device connectivity. So if you have an iPhone or a Nothing phone or any Android phone, and then you want to switch over to your laptop, and maybe you're listening to music on your laptop, but then you get a phone call on your phone, it will seamlessly switch over when you answer that phone call. And so that's a really cool feature to have. More and more manufacturers are offering this, and Nothing also has that with the Ear 2. So yeah, that's it. I have been a pretty big fan of these over the last week since I've been using them. Active noise cancellation is really good. It's still a little bit of a step below the AirPods, and that also kind of applies to sound quality, but at $179, that kind of puts it in that next level of headphones where, again, I think these and a couple other, like Bose and Sony are at the elite. These would be at the great, and then there's good, and then bad. And thankfully, these are in the second best tier for me, but I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Do you think you might pick these up and give them a shot? I personally think you should if you don't want to spring for AirPods Pro 2. These are kind of around the same price point as AirPods 3, and I think the sound quality with the ability to adjust the EQ is better than AirPods 3. And so that's kind of my final thoughts on the Nothing Ear. And again, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below.
Before we end today's video, I do want to tell you more about today's sponsor, Mkeke. Mkeke has a new lineup of clear magnetic and silicone cases for your iPhone 14 or iPhone 14 Pro. And specifically, I've been using the clear cases and have been absolutely loving them. These cases are 7 times stronger than other cases I've used when it comes to the magnets, and that's basically because it has built-in N52 magnets that apparently helps strengthen the connection and gives you faster and safer MagSafe charging. These cases offer military-grade drop protection and offers double corner protection with these rayed bumpers on each of the 4 corners of your case. Some of the clear options can have a little bit of pep or flair to it with these different colors around the bumper. They kind of gradient from clear down to whatever color that you've chosen, and it sort of adds that extra variety that you might be looking for. And if you're worried about these cases turning yellow over time, as most clear cases kind of tend to do, Mkeke actually uses an anti-yellow coating so that it will resist against turning yellow as time goes on. Furthermore, Mkeke has actually qualified as Amazon Climate Pledge friendly, meeting rigorous environmental standards and reduces carbon emissions. This makes it a reliable and eco-friendly choice for those who are mindful of their impact on the environment. These are some of the best clear cases that I've used, and if you want to pick one up for yourself or see what else Mkeke has to offer, visit the link in the description down below. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.